Going over to the Culture Pod podcast, you have New York City being roasted since you have the juxtaposition of the subway, many people calling him the subway hero, Daniel Petty, getting slapped with a $100,000 bail recently, and even more recently, you had 6 illegal immigrants and squatters who actually had gun and drug charges, and they were just let out of jail immediately. That doesn't quite seem fair, does it? Now this comes to us thanks to Lives of TikTok, and she says, quote, come into our country illegally and squat in a home with guns and drugs, released without bail. Protect subway riders from a crazed lunatic who threatened to hurt people, $100,000 bail. Welcome to New York City, unquote. Which, yeah, Daniel Petty was a former Marine, and there's a crazy person on the subway quite literally shouting in people's faces that he was going to do them harm. He subdued this individual with I believe it was a chokehold, and this individual passed away. That individual who had been arrested dozens of times, even attacked old grandmas on subway. So that subway deplorable person actually beat up grandma. And it wasn't once, it was multiple times. And police just let this individual out of jail. Can't help but think, it's sad to say, but you get what you vote for. Because yeah, they're prosecuting the crime that they want. They're prosecuting the good guys in this case. Then the bad guys roam free. And they're also, in terms of New York with businesses, they're driving businesses away in droves because they prosecuted Trump for his real estate. A lot of companies are saying they'll no longer do business in New York. Can't but wonder who the hell is moving to New York to try to start a living, or just would you ever move your family to New York City? I mean, I can't think of a single compelling reason to do so. Now, this, as youth might say, went viral on social media, getting 500,000 views within the first 24 hours and 23,000 likes. Now, going to the top comments, you have Elon Musk saying, quote, broken injustice in New York, getting 2.6 thousand likes. You have Paul Zazupa chiming in saying, quote, New York City is a perfect example of how not to run a big city. You think these kinds of problems happen in Moscow? No way. Putin is an evil man, but he has no tolerance for crime. That way, law-abiding citizens don't even need to take matters into their own hands. I'm cooking 64 likes. Liberal Media Team M said, quote, no one, and I mean no one, has done more harm America than Democrats. I'm cooking 47 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Yeah, very similar to Chicago. I don't think there's been a Republican leader. Well, where's Giuliani? It's been quite some time since they had a lot of Republican leadership in New York. Scrolling down here. Merrick Garland press secretary parody account says, quote, it's time to put up this sign. It's a sign with bullet holes, and it says, caution, Democrat run city, enter at your own risk. I'm cooking 30 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down, you have Red Wave Press saying, quote, a hero is prosecuted in New York City while illegal immigrant squatters are released without bail. America's justice system is broken. Follow if you agree, unquote, getting 79 likes. Granted, I was also one of the likes as well. Mark says, quote, remember these headlines when you vote in November? Criminal illegals have more rights than American citizens. And if common sense candidates lose, then put the for sale sign up. Take what you can, get out of New York City. It's only going to get worse. I'm cooking 63 likes. Which, on a somewhat ADHD note, I forget, what's the tax rate for New York City if you're to live there? How much do they steal? I mean tax. Income tax, New York City. Let's see here. 10.9% if you actually are successful in terms of monetarily or the higher income level. Jeez Louise. So think about that. The federal government steals, taxes 40% of your paycheck. Then New York City takes 10.9% of your paycheck. They have to pay a sales tax, a property tax, a car registration tax, a gasoline tax, an alcohol tax, a tobacco tax, internet tax, phone tax, water tax, electric tax. If Americans were proficient at math, unfortunately public schools are all-time low in terms of acumen and test scores, I can't but think they'd vote third party or vote for someone else in a New York minute, pun moderately intended, when they realize how much of that dollar they earn really is theirs at the end of the day. You also have Planet of Memes saying, quote, yet people will still vote for Democrat like obedient sheep. Why? I'm cooking 97 likes. Well, one of the biggest reasons is incumbents usually win regardless of the situation. Whether you're selling someone a car, technology, or politics, there's a huge advantage at being the incumbent solution, whether you're trying to replace a software solution or take them from driving a Honda to upsell them maybe to an Acura or just a newer Honda. The incumbent has an overwhelming advantage in those situations. So that's one of the main reasons. And another reason is I think it's data. People don't realize how bad it is if they don't live, in the downtown cities of the area. And politicians just blame the other political party. I mean, look at Chicago. They just say, we promise we'll fix it this time. Just like the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears will be great next year. Absolutely, they will be. I mean, statistically speaking, absolutely not. I mean, the Bears are as successful as the city of Chicago. Not very much. But you get what you vote for. Scrolling down, you have MRC TV saying, quote, the inmates are running the asylum, getting 25 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Trying to see if there's any contrarian statements like saying, oh no, they totally deserve to be let out scot-free without bail. Let's see here. Really no contrarian statements. And again, politically speaking, there are people who want $0 bail. They want, them to just get out scot-free. And they don't want you to have the ability to defend yourself. I mean, try owning a gun in New York City. It's prohibitively ridiculous. I mean, for years, the concealed carry permits were only given to the elites, like Ms. Feinstein famously. Or was it Feinstein? I know she was in California. Who was the one in New York? There's so many hypocrites in politics, it's hard to keep track, to be frank. But we'll see if this becomes more of a political issue. Culturally speaking, I mean, it's fascinating. Decades ago, people used to dream about going to New York or Los Angeles. It was the American dream, they were said. I mean, lately those places have become, especially San Francisco, more of a nightmare. I mean, you look at the B-reel of all these places, it's almost like a third world country in some cases. People just homeless and high all day on the streets. And yet, in terms of resource allocation, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars overseas at other countries that most Americans couldn't, quite frankly, point to on a map. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a kind of that cultural shift back or the pendulum swings back and more people start to realize, well, if we keep prosecuting people for defending themselves and standing up for others, you're going to get the outcome of people stop defending themselves. They'll stop defending others, which is disgusting to think that will happen, but it is happening. I mean, a lot of people are just hesitant to help others in general. We've had that for years, and it's only getting worse and worse. And culturally speaking, I don't see the pendulum swinging back anytime soon unless you get some people who vote for some different political leaders, start changing some of these laws, actually defending the good guys. Do you have any semblance of hope that that'll happen in our lifetime? That might be a thing? I mean, I don't want to say the odds are small or infinitesimal, but, I mean, let's just say when it comes to politicians and, culture getting better, I don't get my hopes up much these days. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.